Welcome back, fans. This is Western Kentucky Raiders again. Back with the Arkansas Dynasty MVP 07 NCAA baseball. It's going to be a recap on the 2011 season that I just ran. First off, we're going to look at the standings. The Atlantic 10, Massachusetts is one of those from the previous seasons that kept on doing good and it kept on showing here. They had a 55-3 season, 32-0 in conference. No real surprises in the conference. Overall, the ranking was right around number 65. They had this conference had let's see, 1, 2, 3, about 4 teams from the top 25, and the top 6 teams in the conference. Plus the with one exception, it'd be actually 7 teams from the Atlantic 10 that had in the top 35, which is very well speaking for a conference. And we're going to move on to the ACC. Virginia Tech was the big winner in this one, in this conference, with a 26-3 mark and winning 52 games overall. They ended up being number 7. We're going to get to that in just a moment. Then let's take a look at the Atlantic division. And Maryland was the big winner there. It was basically a toss-up. Florida State lost some steam towards the end of the season with being the slacker in this conference. Now we're going to go to the Big Easy. South Florida and West Virginia tied, but South Florida won the tiebreaker. Not very many, only 3 teams in the top 40, which is not very good for the Big 6 conference. Then we're going to move on to the Big 10. Penn State ran away with this conference, earning 23 conference wins out of 24 tries. And they ended up with 56 wins. And this conference only had 1 team in the top 40 and 2 teams in the top 50, so that's not very good either for a Big 6 conference. Let's move on to the Big 12. Texas was the big winner here with 24 wins out of 25 tries. They won 55 games overall, and in just a moment we're going to take a peek at went on in postseason, but that's for another session. The Big 12 had 4 teams in the top 40, which is okay. The Big West Conference was very solid this year, with Cal State Fullerton being obviously the big winner here with 19 wins, earning 45 overall. We'll see how far they went along. And Big West had 3 teams in the top 35, which is not too bad. Then we're going to move on to Conference USA. Southern Miss did okay, but this was a conference that didn't have a definite winner, and as you can see from top to bottom, the records aren't that great from top to bottom either. In fact, there's only 2 teams right around number 50 in the rankings, and that tells you how weak the conference actually is. Moving on to the Missouri Valley. Indiana State won 18 out of 23 ball games to claim the championship of that conference. They won 42 games, so that speaks well of them. Evansville also did good. They actually had 2 teams in the top 15. That's pretty good. Moving on to the Midwest, Utah was a surprise winner, winning all their conference games and winning 54 games overall. And San Diego did decent for 2nd place, winning 34 games overall. And only had 2 teams though from the top 40. That's better than the Big 10 though. Moving on to the pack. USC won that conference, but it wasn't by very much. USC swept California in the final series to take the Pac-10 championship. And let's take a look at the only two teams, maybe possibly three if we round out the top 45 for the ranking. Moving to the Patriot League, it was just one big mess. There was no definite winner. Southeastern Conference was no surprise with Florida winning the East. Vanderbilt struggled, but they might pick it up next season. Take a look at the SEC West. Arkansas won all their games. LSU was the sore mark of the conference. They did worse than Vanderbilt, which does not normally happen. Arkansas won 57 games so far, and overall in the conference there are only 3 teams in the top 40. That's not very good. Possibly 4 if you include Alabama, which had a very bad mark in play in the SEC. Moving on to the Sun Belt, Arkansas State did well, so did Middle Tennessee and Arkansas Little Rock. But there are only 3 teams in the top 60, which is not very good, but that's what was expected out of the Sun Belt. Moving on to the Western Athletic, Hawaii ran away with the competition and won 18 out of 21 ball games and won 50 games overall. And there was only 1 team in the top 10 and only 2 teams in the top 60. And the Western WCC Coastal and St. Mary's was okay. So was San Diego. Pepperdine was okay. Otherwise, it was just muddled rankings and not very good at all. But surprisingly, the entire conference had, out of 8 members, 5 of them were in the top 60. And that's a huge percentage. That's about 3/4 of the conference. Then you can move on to this SoCon, and this was just a muddy conference. There was no definite winner there either. And that takes care of the standings. Move on to the top 25. This will give you a little bit of insight what happened this year. Let's move on to toward the bottom. There are a few good teams that I didn't mention, such as Miami. They won 30 games. But we're going to go on to what happened in the postseason in just a few moments. And that takes care of this segment. Please watch the next video about the postseason. Thanks for watching.